lesson, I'm going to teach you some arpeggios and some pro tips on the use of arpeggios to really make your solos come alive and really add some spice and some flash to your playing. All an arpeggio is just the notes of a chord played separately. So you're just playing those hip and cool chord tones, the notes that make up those chords. Instead of playing the chord all at once, you're playing those notes separately. So it spreads the notes out a bit, as well as, you know, those chords that you're playing over, you might be playing the corresponding arpeggios. So it really accents and highlights and emphasizes those strong chord tones, so you make big solo statements. That jam track I was playing over is in the key of E minor, and I want to thank Elevated Jam Tracks. I picked that track up from them. Key of E minor, they're basically just power chords. Always know the chords you're playing over. It's the chords that are going to give you the complete roadmap to all of the soloing and improvisation avenues. The key is only a little part of it. You really want to know the chords, and especially when you're playing arpeggios, because a lot of times you might be matching the arpeggio to the chord you're playing over. Kind of goes back to what I always say about it's so important to really study the relationships between chords and scales, between chords and arpeggios, right? That's so important. It's good arpeggio playing. You're just not going to play the arpeggios kind of up and back, up and back, up and back. That's not music, right? That's like, you don't really play a scale all the way down and all the way back up and all the way down and all the way up, right? That's not music. Those are the building blocks. You have to work it, right? Good arpeggio playing mixes arpeggios in with your scales, in with your licks. That's how you're going to really make these arpeggios come alive. You have to work them. Like this. Alright, so what I was doing, I was moving some arpeggios around, but oftentimes I'll just play a piece of an arpeggio and I'll use certain accents, right? So, alright, so here's the arpeggio I was playing. And that's a basic E minor arpeggio. And that's just a root flat third and fifth. But I was playing the arpeggio, just a fragment of them. I was doing a pull off, and that's 19 pulled off to 15. And I was just backing down the arpeggio. But then I was accenting on that B note here, because that's the fifth, right, in the key of E minor. So it's a strong tone within that arpeggio too. And the way I'm playing that with the accents, and then I would slide down. Now I'm accenting off of the D note, the flat 7, but I'm playing a different arpeggio fragment. I'm playing same kind of thing where I'm pulling off. This time I'm pulling off 10 to 7 and backing down this arpeggio. Right now, that arpeggio is a minor 7th arpeggio, root, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7. That arpeggio looks like this if I play the whole thing. And I broke that one down. All right, and again, I'm just kind of accenting, killing the notes, right? And that's kind of cool. And I combined it with the one up here. So I'm taking the arpeggios and I'm not playing it all the way up and all the way down. Like I said before, I'm just taking a piece of it. So if you could find some arpeggios you like and just break them into pieces, and you get those strong tones. Know where your root notes are. We have our E note here. This arpeggio here, that's our minor triad, or just a minor root. There's our E, our flat 3rd, and our 5th, our G, and our B. But then what I could do, so you see how I'm attaching that to licks. I play the minor triad, add the flat 7 too, right? Even sweep it. Then I start sliding up into the next shape, the natural minor scale, and I'm working the arpeggio. I'm doing slides, pull-offs, bends, vibrato. That's how you make these arpeggios come alive. It's always nice to know, and I say this a lot, to know the scale that the arpeggio lives in. This minor seventh arpeggio lives in this natural minor scale, E natural minor or E Aeolian. It looks like this. Right? And that arpeggio lives right inside. So I could take any of those notes and licks and attach them to the arpeggio. I just took this lick, where I'm bending at half step, the root note, and I played the arpeggio, just the top couple strings, into the bend lick, and then I'll slide. So you get the flavor of the arpeggio, the note of the chord, E minor 7 played separately. You get the beautiful bend, hammer, pull, slide, and all these techniques. Now when I took that arpeggio, or that triad, into this other shape, I'm just playing E natural minor, but this is off of the low E string root, this shape. So you want to know where your arpeggios are, but know where they live, right? And I was just doing like a little pull-off lick. To our half-step bends, that whole thing. Right, speed it up. And I'll resolve back to E because I want to accent that E note. So if you know where the arpeggio is in one shape, go up to another shape and just add some more scale notes. By doing some different bends, and you can add all kinds of cool licks very easily. Here I'm ending on my B. Notice I'm careful what notes I'm ending on because I want to accent those strong chord tones, right? Now another arpeggio I like that kind of lives within this shape is this minor 7th off of this E note, 12th fret low E string. That arpeggio looks like this, a minor 7th again. So what can we do with that? Well, if we take that up to the high E string, right, we get that kind of thing. But what if we just take the top 3 strings and play it? That's kind of cool. What I'm doing there is I'm adding kind of a blues lick. So you could blues up your arpeggios. So what I'm doing is I'm going down the arpeggio, descending. Then I play the blues lick. There's our blue note. So you get that bluesy flavor, and you get this flat third to major third bend here on the 12th fret of the G string. So you get the arpeggio up top flavor, blues scale, to our root note. And that's a cool, easy way that you could take a fragment of an arpeggio, attach it, and blues up your arpeggio. Let's take another blues lick, maybe add some other passing tones to it. Let's take that lick. And let's add it into our arpeggio, maybe throw in a little half-step slide, too. And you get a really interesting sounding lick. Because it adds, that's a lot of elements. We got passing tones, we got our minor 7th arpeggio, we got our blue note, and then we have, here's our major third, here's our blue note again, here's another passing tone, we're using that A flat, not in the scale, and that's based off of our blues scale. Adding that minor 7 arpeggio. The good thing to do is put the jam track on and just kind of get lost in it and listen on how these arpeggios sound over each corresponding chord, and then just get creative with it, putting together some solos that make sense and that are really working your notes and making music with them. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope it helps you in your studies of arpeggios and adding them into your soloing. They really make a huge difference. And have fun with it. Put your own spin on it. Stay creative. Keep up all that hard work on those guitars. Keep having fun with them. And remember, your guitar playing is an evolution. So enjoy the journey. Take care, rock on. See you in the next lesson.